Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy M.K.S here, finally back with another video. I say finally, I only made one, I think, yesterday, but anyway, or the day before. But anywho, I woke up really late today, like 11 o'clock. Sorry, I'm terrible. You could say laziness, but I suppose I did go to sleep quite late as well. So anyway, I wish that I didn't need to sleep so much, but so I'm a bit late. We're taking the dog for a walk. But I thought while I make my cup of tea and while I have my cup of tea, I thought I'd make a quick video, hopefully, about some ideas again about AC Milan, and I hope some people out there enjoy it, as I say, and I won't waffle too much, and I hope they won't be too repetitive. I know I do have a bad habit of repeating my ideas, but as ever, I'd love to hear what you think, even if you tell me like something I need to, well, especially advice or anything like that, but also hopefully some positive comments mainly would be great to hear. But yeah, so I'd love to hear someone one day say, like, I wasn't even into football, but you got me interested in football, because I think it's quite an interesting sport. There's so many it seems like just kicking a ball around, but it's not really. There's so many different things involved in football and tactics and things like that. But anyway, I'll say I'm going to try to stop waffling, and so here goes. So some of my dreams or ideas, idealistic dreams for AC Milan, and they'll probably be similar for Inter Milan, but a little bit different. But anyway, maybe next week I'll try and do a similar one for Inter Milan if I can. But yeah, so number one, I would love for as many wealthy co-owners and shareholders as possible to invest in AC Milan, which hopefully will help the club in the future. Apparently, according to recent news, Invest Corp from Bahrain, I pronounce it, sorry about my pronunciation, or whatever you say, is considering investing in AC Milan and are going to spend $1 billion, I think, supposedly. Hopefully that deal goes through. I don't think they're quite as rich as the people who own Man City, and certainly not as rich as the people who own Newcastle, but hopefully that good investment, if they invest shrewdly and invest in the academies and things like that, hopefully that'll be really good. Number two, on that note, yeah, I'd love to see what AC Milan can learn from other clubs, including possibly mistakes to avoid, including clubs that have made mistakes as well. So hopefully the Bahraini, how we pronounce it, investors, if and when they invest, or whoever does invest in AC Milan, will look at what Man City or other teams have done well and what they've not done so well. So hopefully they'll have that advantage of sort of hindsight, if you like, where they'll be able to look at what went wrong and what went right for different clubs, so they can look at what strategies to avoid, excuse me, and what strategies to work on. I think they shouldn't just buy new players, but should also invest in youth. But I'd say AC Milan, especially to learn from like Real Madrid, which is probably the only club team which is more successful than AC Milan really in terms of Champions Leagues historically. So I think it'd be great if they learn from those teams, especially like say Real Madrid, but also learn from teams like what pitfalls to avoid as well. Number three, as I say, one of the things I would love is for fans maybe to invest in the club, like to donate to the club, to see what if they put money into the club, which like another quirky idea I have is like as many of my ideas you might have already been able to notice by now that many of my ideas are quite quirky. So I thought like it would be great if the club had like, or maybe even Italian football generally, like had a bank account where whatever money was spent on that would be reinvested into like academies and benefiting the clubs, as well as buying overseas players, also developing young Italian players as well. And I think that in any academies in Italy, I think at least between 10 to even 50% of the participants should be Italian themselves. I don't know what numbers it is now, so it might be more than that by now. So, but yeah, so I think also developing players from overseas as well, like in Asia and Africa, which will hopefully benefit those, and doing a lot of charitable work, which charitable work, which will help people in those developing countries across Asia and Africa and places like that to develop. Helping them to get into football, but also helping them with their education, like helping them in S.T.E.M and training and helping businesses across Asia and Africa. So hopefully the club can do a lot of good stuff like that across, as I say, Asia and Africa and places like that, and even Ireland as well, as it was colonised. But yeah, so as I say, I'd love for them to learn from other clubs as well and look at how they can reinvest that money and maybe even have GoFundMe and crowdfunding pages and have a special bank account where fans of AC Milan can put money in, so that would be reinvested into buying players and developing the academies and whatever other costs the club has, including the charitable work it could do as well, both locally and nationally as well as internationally. Number 4, I would love for Fortune 500 companies, as many Fortune 500 companies as possible, to invest in AC Milan as well as other Italian teams. I say I'd love for Italian teams to. I'd love for AC Milan to develop more younger Italian players as well, and have as many young Italian players as well. So I think that would be pretty cool. But yeah, I'd love for Fortune 500 companies to have shares or equity in the club as well. Maybe even like people could donate, invest in pitches to donate to Milan or things like that, which I hope to come to. Number 5, again, I'd love for as many wealthy people like multi-billionaires, even entire nations, not even just one nation, but as I often say with my ideas for football, like I think it'd be pretty revolutionary if not just one team. I suppose with Chelsea, they were bought by a Russian oligarch, an oil tycoon, Roman Abramovich, of course, and who's had to sell the club recently. But yeah, with Man City, it was like a whole country which owned the club. So I think it'd be interesting now if it was like a whole new level where entire nations owned a football team. I think that would be pretty interesting. Number 6, I would love for AC Milan to have as many sponsors and basically just have as much money and investment generally as possible, as much money to invest as possible in possible in buying new players and investing in the youth and the infrastructure and whatever other costs the club has. Maybe even paying any debt it has or anything like that, because a lot of clubs have debt as well. So if that helps out the club, or whatever helps the club financially as well, just generally. Excuse me. Number 7, I would love for AC Milan, to have a partnership with Celtic as well as all Italian teams, really. Ideally, if I'm really dreaming or being idealistic. As a fan, of both Italian football and Celtic, I would love for let's say all Italian teams from all different levels, even lower levels, all the way up to the top level, like AC Milan, and other Serie A teams, and also the national team, maybe even like to have practice matches, especially at youth level, and help each other to develop and share ideas and things like that. So hopefully they'll benefit each other as much as possible. Number 8, hopefully I can promote the brand of Milan, the marketing and brand, and hopefully the club can do as well as possible with its branding and marketing and development as possible, so that hopefully can have fans all around the world, especially in Asia, which is the most populous continent and also one of the most, I suppose, economies are growing most in a lot of Asia. And as someone who supports Asian economies as well as Italian football, this quirky sort of thing. So hopefully I'll be able to benefit both Italian football as well as the Asian economy, especially. But even improving relations with the Black diaspora, the African diaspora, and maybe even. I know Italy, unfortunately, has a reputation for being quite racist, as I mentioned before, but I think it'd be great if Milan improved its relations with African nations or the Black diaspora and showed that it's cosmopolitan and welcoming for all. Because, then maybe as part of this, like wealthier Africans like Anglo could perhaps invest in clubs like AC Milan, Italian clubs, and there could be like cultural exchanges which improve relations between Italians and black people through football. And that's another one of my quirky ideas. Number 9, I'd love to promote AC Milan's, if I'm using the correct word, choreography or art, and encourage art, like something like artists for Milan or poets for Milan, writers for Milan, who talk about their love for Milan and express it through art and writing and poetry, either spoken poetry or written poetry, and things like that. And I'd love to hear from Milan fans about what they would love to see for the club, like what their goals would be, what their dreams would be, whether the Champions League or the league itself or winning trophies in Italy itself is most important. So it'd be great to hear from them and read what they would like to see, what their dreams are, and like in their blogs and their YouTube videos and things like that, and maybe connect together like Milan fans. Although I'm a fan of Italian football generally, so I'd love to listen to all Italian fans as I say, quirky sort of ideals. And number 10, again, I think it's really important to invest in youth, and I think it would be great to see more. I hope any new investors or owners will develop academies, and as I say, at least 10 to 50%, maybe even more, of the uptake in those academies would be Italian themselves, although there could be people in Asia and Africa, but they travel together. Where Italians travel to Asia and Africa, parts of Asia and Africa, and vice versa. Like Asians and Africans travel to Milan or other parts of Italy and practice playing football together. But yeah, having as many academies for the youth and developing the youth, like through diets and practice, exercise, and things like that, I think would be pretty cool. And I would love for A.C Inter also to pay the least possible taxes. So hope you enjoyed this video, and I am out. Peace and love.